Hey, welcome to episode 8 of the Boss Experience podcast. Thanks for joining me. In this episode, I want to talk about the difference between what it means to start a side hustle versus starting a business. More often than not, entrepreneurs tend to go straight from the desire to make more money or to earn extra money and extra cash to sales. And rarely do they sit and kind of think about what are my goals and what are my plans with my efforts. And that whole strategy works until you get to the point where it doesn't. So in this episode, I want to share a previously recorded audio that breaks down the difference between side hustle and business, as well as some considerations you need to take into account regardless of what it is you choose to launch. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. I want to talk about side hustles versus a business and what that really means, because as business coaches, I have an opportunity to get on the phone with a lot of entrepreneurs that believe they're operating a business, but in reality, they're operating a side hustle. So I just wanted to provide some clarity about the difference. And there's nothing wrong, being confused or anything. And that's not I'm not here to judge anyone or to criticize anyone for, what they're trying to do to improve their life and improve the lives of their family and to earn extra cash. So I just want to get that squared away. But what I do want to do is make sure you know the difference between a side hustle and a business. I totally understand, because you just want to earn extra cash. And sometimes you don't always know how to do it, because if you're anything like me, I had no business owners in my family. Even to this day, I maybe have it'll be a stretch to say 3 people in my family that are entrepreneurs. And I didn't personally know any entrepreneurs. So I did the best with what I had, which was just what I could find online. But let me clarify the difference between a side hustle and a business. Let's start with the side hustle. So the side hustle is simply a short-term strategy to earn cash. And a side hustle can be a job. It can be, regular part-time job. Some people even have a second full-time job. And it's usually with a side hustle, it's done with the intention that it's for extra money and that this isn't going to be something that's going to replace your full-time job. It's also not done with the intention of longevity in most cases. And side hustles do have a cost. And I think sometimes people rush to earn the extra cash, but they don't really kind of think out, what are going to be the expenses. Even with an Uber driver, whether it's Uber drivers or Uber Eats, think about it. There is a cost associated with that job. And, which is the cost of the wear and tear to your car, the cost of gas. Those are things that you aren't going to be reimbursed for. And, I'm not an attorney, so I can't tell you whether or not you can even claim that as an expense if you're operating a side hustle at the end of when it's time to do your taxes. But I'm saying that to say, even with a side hustle, there are costs, either a cost in your time or a cost in what you spend. There's some investment. The other thing is with a side hustle is you may or may not, depending on the side hustle you choose, be in control of your time. So you have to keep that in mind. If you have a family that you're taking care of and you're paying childcare costs and all of that to sustain this side hustle, you're going to have to kind of evaluate the cost to you. So the other thing is, you have to think with a side hustle is not scalable. Meaning, let's say if you're a dog walker, and if you can't walk the dog that day, that means you don't make any money. So the side hustle or operation doesn't operate without you being at the helm or without you showing up every day. So, that's kind of a side hustle in a nutshell. So let's talk about what a business is. So a business operates on strategy and it operates on systems. And you have to have those in place if you're looking for longevity. And typically, when you start a business, your goal should be longevity. Your goal should be to operate a business that you can leave to your children, that you can leave, that can operate without you being present. And I also want to emphasize that there is an investment. There is an investment in your skills. There's an investment of time. There's an investment in learning new skills. And there's an investment in building systems and in really operating that business. And if you're going to operate a business that's going to actually sustain you, at some point you have to invest. You have to invest. Otherwise, you're not really getting the knowledge you need to really build a sustainable business. The other thing you want to keep in mind when you think about systems and strategy and all of that is a side hustle. They're not investing in, marketing. They don't really develop, necessarily the sales acumen a business owner would want to develop, because they're not doing that for longevity. So with a business, you have more control. You can do with it what you like. You can serve who you like. And the good thing is with a business also, you can even sell it. You have an actual asset that you're building upon. And that's not the case with a side hustle. And not all side hustles evolve into a business. Can they? Absolutely. But it takes work, and it takes planning, and it takes the ability to, really sit down and achieve it, and, to sit down and see what is it that you need to do to evolve that side hustle into a business. If you're trying to decide between the two, because, starting a business may not be right for you right now. Maybe what you need is the side hustle so that you can get the cash to pay off debt or whatever it is you need to do before you start your business. And so how do you prepare yourself to figure out whether you should start one or the other? So the key thing you want to think about is, what are your goals? What are your goals with trying to earn this extra cash? Are you wanting to pay down debt? Are you trying to buy a new car? And what is the time frame you need to do this? Then you want to, of course, write out what are the pros and cons. What are the costs involved? What is the investment? Because, there are side hustles that, yes, you can make money, but when you look at the cost associated with doing a side hustle, it may not be worth it to do a particular side hustle. And so you have to do that first. Otherwise, you may not be able to reach your goal by earning the cash you want to earn to actually do what you want to do. I mean, for me as a single mother, one of the big issues with me in choosing a side hustle was, if I have to pay childcare, when I weighed everything out and I wrote everything out, and I'm just using myself as an example, childcare was a big issue for me. Wear and tear on my car was a big issue for me, because I didn't know a side hustle that was going to give me enough money to buy another car once that car required repairs. So these are all the things you have to think about. What are your costs associated with taking on that second job? And obviously there's always a sacrifice as well when you look at, your time and your family. And then before you take on any side hustle, I just want to, caution you to make sure, if you're still working your 9 to 5, that you review your policy and procedure manual to make sure that there's nothing in your policy and procedure manual that prohibits either you working a second job or the type of work that you actually do. So with that being said, I hope that clarifies the difference between side hustle and business.